Yeah, and I think this conversation all stems back to what we're talking about with like the Facebook's idea of what avatars should be. And I don't know. I just, again, there probably will be a huge mainstream appeal to this design, especially if you are not in the gaming sector, for example. But I think it's just you are right now targeting gaming as like the entire focus of your product right now. You are trying to make social VR platforms around this idea of gamers and what they want. And literally every successful social platform are doing the opposite of what you're doing. And it's I was thinking about this today actually because it actually goes great with this metaverse topic because Facebook's literal strategy for everything is throw money at the problem, and that's it. Like that's really cut and dry. That's their strategy. And it really, the more I think about it, it hasn't worked out most of the time for them. Like we think about like I bet you Medal of Honor was incredibly expensive. Like a great example. That is like one of the most. I like the assets and everything that's in that game are insane. Like
just the title alone, the IP alone, you're going to be paying for.
That too, yeah. The development studio, like a bunch of seasoned, super popular developers in the industry, but that game was an absolute flop for them. And there's not. I mean, really, a lot of their other ones that they have the same story where they just funded something incredibly well, but really didn't like give any, in my opinion, really any counseling to people. Like they just throw money at people and development companies, and it's just I don't think it really works because we're such in a Wild West industry where this is why I actually think that they're transitioning and actually buying the people that are proving themselves in the VR Wild West rather than actually funding people not in it at all. But I just think throwing money into VR is actually not as successful as people are saying it is. Yeah, it's helping for the short term, especially for hardware right now. Like you're getting hardware in the hands because you have so much money. Similar to how like the Steam Deck right now is also clearly only the Steam Deck can only exist, for example, because Valve exists. Like it's not a product that could exist in today's market if Valve didn't exist. And same with the Quest 2. It only exists because Facebook exists, but it doesn't solve all the problems for VR. And I think that's what kind of frustrates me about
is the throwing money at it though. Like, so if I'm Facebook, and actually just talking with like some of the best developers that are in VR, like the ones who are actually crushing it, like Cloudhead Games, Resolution Games, Big Box, like these ones who are actually crushing it, like they admit half the time, if you follow them, and I know you do, like they don't know shit. Like they're all figuring it out just like everyone else. So why would Facebook spend any time trying to figure out the unfigure-outable right now when they could just buy the people who seemingly have figured out bits of success? It makes sense to me. Look, can I ask you on the avatar? I want to go back to the Facebook avatars.
Okay, yeah, sure.
If I'm going to give them any leeway here, benefit of the doubt, do you think they're going these tamer real-life avatars to maybe make the user not disconnect too much from themselves and, in a way, a form of moderation?
That's a really brilliant way to think about it. And yeah, probably, because I know they're very intense about moderation. Like any platform that they actually do have successful, I swear it's probably gonna be one of the most moderated platforms. Like I imagine they're gonna have like AI systems that are literally listening to everything people say to each other and moderating based on that. But yeah, it's actually kind of crazy when you put it that way.
I just like if I'm like making like a even like the Ready Player Me avatars, when it's like people do those and they're beautiful. They're really nice avatars. Like Robin Reality, her avatar looks exactly like her. Like it's great. But I have to imagine that if your avatar looks closer to you, you're gonna act accordingly. If I come in like mascots at a baseball game, they act nuts. Now that's their job. But putting on a suit and having the anonymity, like I'm going nuts. Give me a panda suit. I'm gonna have a good time. Give me a panda suit, take the head off. Behave a little better. I'll behave a little better.
I think you are spot on with that. I mean, already the industry has, every big company in the industry, not just VR, but gaming, they hire psychologists to figure this stuff out, to solve the problem before a problem comes up. So when you bring stuff up like this, I bet you they have literal psychologists that are writing the team's thesis papers on like okay, VR chat's doing this, but look at all the problems VR chat is having. Let's not have those problems because we are Facebook, and if we have these problems, that's going to be a class action lawsuit. And then let's start getting people's minds not to click that way, like they do with these weird off avatars.
I hope you're right. I hope they're hiring those people. Like, I think you give them more credit than I do. Like, after speaking with Andrea, I don't want to mispronounce your last name. I won't try it. I apologize. I apologize, Andrea, if you're watching this. I did it right on the stream, but I will not mess up this time. But like, she says that more games should hire architects, which I agree with. And architects are fairly cheap. I've got to imagine a psychologist that they could hire is pretty cheap. But I'm wondering if they're really putting that much effort into it. Have you been in Horizon at all?
I was a long time ago, like probably 1 year ago. I checked it out, and I was
the
not
exact
impressed.
same. It hasn't changed.
Yeah,
it hasn't changed. So it's clear to me that they just haven't. Actually, I don't think they're trying to figure it out. I think their original plan was they're going to build a universe, and then they swapped it to build it for us, the users. And it works. VR Chat does it. Rec Room does it. But you can't have a closed alpha for 3 years or whatever it's been, where, like, I know Thrill Seeker, who was at OC6, where they promised everybody, I don't know if you were there. They promised everyone alpha invites, and there's a bunch of people who were there who didn't get it. Like,
yeah, that's pretty shocking, actually. It really is a test, because everyone in that audience is probably going to be more positive to the experience than anyone else. So it's really shocking that they don't let these people just go in there and give critiques or even make content, which is kind of probably arguably the most important thing when you are running a platform advertising the content creation tools.
Yeah.
But it's just, it feels very sterile, Horizons. That's really everything I would say about all of Facebook's social VR platforms, is everything feels sterile. And why will users choose to go into this? Like, they won't. VR chat is already on Quest, for example. There's insane amount of content for VR chat every day. Every time I log in at night, I see 100 new worlds that some of them are just insane quality. Like, it's hard, and you can throw money at it. They are, but it's still not clicking.
No, it's not. And they could,
and it's
if
funny.
They wanted to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. You got a new topic. Go ahead, or a better point.
No, I just wanted to talk about the architects thing. I don't know about Facebook, but I know Valve. Like, I like to follow who Valve hires, for example, because I think it's very fascinating. They hire some very fascinating people from all walks of life, and architects are one of them. They're actually hiring themselves, and psychologists. And I really do think that Facebook probably does have psychologists. I mean, you cannot work on BCI or neural devices without having some sort of person saying, okay, this is what this guy's brain is thinking. This is how we can exploit it. Like, just stuff like that.
Hit that subscribe button to stay on top of the daily clips, or catch the debates and Fireside Chats live on the main channel down in the video description. See you next time, Space Cowboys.